Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to GameFi Throwdown with Fight Legends. We're here today, as always, with Smurf from MoneyMatchGaming. How you doing today, man?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How's your week going?
It's going good. It's going good. Market's turning around. Getting some time to do some designs as well as just have some downtime. So it's feeling good.
Yeah, absolutely. Popped on CoinDesk here. We're looking at, Bitcoin's at 42.6, Ethereum just over 3, XRP at 83 cents. So, yeah, things are looking up. Solana at $92. So, yeah, definitely. What do you think about? Let's go right into this, man. I want to talk a little bit about ApeCoin as we get started here because check this. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. Somebody I know pretty well in the streaming side of things, but I wasn't necessarily sure if they were into crypto or not. Random tweet. They said I just exchanged all my Bitcoin for ApeCoin. It's going places. Was that a big mistake or the biggest mistake? Smurf, what do
I,
you think?
I mean, if it's a short-term swing trade, I think it was a smart decision. If
Okay.
they were actually expecting to swing trade it,
That's
I
not
like
the,
I
what
like
I.
to just hodl my Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Honestly, my
Yeah.
Bitcoin is truly a store of value for me. Where like when I add to my Bitcoin allocation, I don't normally look to sell it. It's like the last thing that I look to sell. I wouldn't use my Bitcoin. I would have been more likely to use my Ethereum, even though it's a really bullish time for Ethereum. I would have been way more likely to use that or any other token than my Bitcoin. But yeah, as a swing trade, very smart. I forget how many hundreds of percent it went up in such a short amount of time. Also, just the advertising, the notoriety behind Ape, Bored Ape Yacht Club is huge in the crypto space. As much as people hate them, and that's crypto people and muggles, normies alike. For the way that the art looks and this and that,
Right.
they are good at advertising. They're good at traditional advertising, and they're good at this Web3 crypto type of advertising, where the art itself is very divisive, and divisive sells. So and so I'm like, they do well. So hate it or love it, that's probably going to do well. And sure enough, it shot up a few 100%, I believe, over that short amount of time. So like if you jumped in any point in time during the first like 48 hours, probably made some profits, and you can just hop off with like a nice 30-40% profit and get back into your Bitcoin.
Interesting. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
long
That's
term, that's the same issue. I would like, I don't know, eventually, what goes up so quickly has to come down, and somebody's going to buy the top.
Yeah, yeah. This particular person was commenting in a way that made it seem like they were doing it like as a long term
Long
game
term,
plan, and I was like, oh man, I there's so much you're missing. Then
yeah, yeah,
I don't even know
yeah.
where to begin. Like I was just gonna come in and be like, no.
Yeah, I would. It's like if you really believe in the ape system, I can't like really harp on them and be like negative about them, because I do think, as much as most people just don't understand most of the things with NFTs and what they want to accomplish and stuff like that. Anyways, they don't know that the ape NFTs have already been used for ticketing, etc. Now the ape NFTs were used to very similar to how Bitcoin was used previously to give people access to early Ethereum. Usually holding a certain token or having a certain position in something grants you access to other cryptocurrencies or other projects, early like whitelisting ability. And so having this Bored Ape Yacht Club, anybody who actually knew about NFTs was like, yeah, no, like right now, it's a symbol, but it's also going to give them access to, a yacht, parties, whatever the heck else comes down the line, they are going to have the first access to it. And sure enough, this token, which amounted to some, I believe, like a market cap of, I want to, I believe it was around some billion or something like that dollars, like pretty quickly. Like I think I saw something like 3 billion or something like that. But really quickly to like a $3 billion market cap on a
Mhm.
coin. And who got the first shot on that? The Bored Apes. And so who gets the off board? If they want to become that much richer, if they want to dump some coins and become $100,000 richer or whatever, they had the opportunity to. And you have people like this friend of yours who were buying into it at whatever price, and they had the apes had already experienced from launch. Of course, and like the tokens are given to them, they made
Right.
money, and then the token goes up a few 100% from whatever they were already given, and they still have their Bored Apes. They no longer needed to even sell their Bored Apes to have the same value and be able to potentially buy up another Bored Ape. It's like wild. wild. But that's like, that's what you get with these NFTs and stuff. And so, and who knows what else they have during the roadmap, the pipeline, what they'll actually hit. They do have plans for a whole metaverse and this and that, and so maybe not the worst investment. Again, I just wouldn't use my Bitcoin for it. I'm not necessarily a Bitcoin maxi, but that's hard for me to do. To maybe some of my Bitcoin if I was like, I want to, get in short term, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's got to be a lot of the bullishness is, what they'll be able to do with the size of the project already within the metaverse. There's going to definitely be big things there for them. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Moves,
Yeah. Make moves.
Scared money don't make money. That's what
exactly.
They say.
Scared money don't make no money. Shout out to her crown chakra.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit. Actually, let's start firing up Fight Legends here as we go forward. Again, Fight Legends, everyone. BloodyFaces.io. We've got a new website down, or out, I should say, over there. Very cool new interface. If you haven't checked it out, make sure to go over there, whether you have a Bloody Faces or not. If you don't, though, you're going to get access to the game demo that we're about to play, and there's a marketplace only for Bloody Faces holders. We're going to have a stage for them, all sorts of exclusive experiences for those Bloody Faces holders. There's going to be lots of Discord things going on just for them exclusively. And later on today, we're actually doing a Discord game night. We're going to do some Jackbox games, hanging out, so that'll be fun too. So all sorts of things going on. Make sure you jump on fightlegends.io to find the link to our Discord, to bloodyfaces.io, and just more info on the project here as we get going.
Nice to see the community, doing something, not just sitting stagnant while you're working other things, but keeping the community together and alive. It's always really important.
Yeah, our Discord's really come together with the help of Vinny, who's from Crypto Champions, who's come on and helped us out a little bit there. And things are starting to move along. We're having like regular AMAs in there now just for the Discord community. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I got the game booted up. So let me know when you're ready for that.
Will do. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about You told me something funny about the U.S. Treasury that came out today. Kind of like a no shit Sherlock for people in crypto. But tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, the U.S. Treasury. It was a few days ago, but fairly recently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just the U.S. Treasury admitting or being quoted saying that fiat was in fact used. So after some research, fiat was in fact used, and like who needed to do the research honestly, but was in fact used for money laundering more so than cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Just happened to, after, a lot of our senators, including people like Elizabeth Warren, are constantly out there berating Bitcoin and saying things like, cryptocurrency is only used for money laundering and this and that, like only maybe if you're Melania Trump. But shots fired for her money laundering with Solana. But the vast majority of money laundering is done with fiat dollars. And I was telling Sean beforehand that I watched a funny video recently, which just stated more facts than most people know. But it was Alexander Hamilton versus Satoshi in a rap battle. And so you can just Google that rap battle.
Love it.
In YouTube. And one of Satoshi's statements in the rap battle was that fiat currency, United States dollar specifically, was used more for money laundering, and there was a reason why the pretty much every 99% of all United States dollars have traces of cocaine on them, versus cryptocurrency, which cannot say the same for.
Absolutely,
obviously it's digital, but you just can't say the same for it,
right? Yeah, I would say that's one of the major. It's almost like just the zeitgeist right now outside of the industry is everyone's listening to the FUD, and that major FUD is, it's going to be a rug pull. They're actually it's a pyramid scheme. There's these certain tired arguments that are getting kind of tired, especially if you're in the industry, because a lot of them are really easy to expel, and just all you got to do is look into, for instance, everyone talking about how it's an energy suck. Well, maybe specifically Bitcoin is, but Ethereum's moving to proof of stake, and so all these things are changing and are created by people who grew up in a world where we're surrounded by what's the word global warming talk, and news, So I think we're growing up in this industry with people that have grown up and known that that's important. That's like one of the most important, if not the most important thing of our generation. And we're building this technology to not only not make it worse, but also to help it. Right? There's projects out there that I'm very bullish on being able to help with energy crisis, even whether it's an NFT or some sort of blockchain technology that helps hold businesses to a certain standard when it comes to energy efficiency, to recycling benefits and NFTs for people that and companies that do better with recycling and reusing what they process and manufacturing their goods. I mean, there's all sorts of ways beyond gaming that this can be developed and used. But I guess my question to you would be, do you think gaming is going to be the way that we get mass adoption for it and then it spreads beyond that? Or do you think everything is kind of already slowly growing towards that and gaming is just going to be most popular? Like, is gaming the gateway to more things being implemented with that technology?
I think so. I think gaming and social media will be the two. I think I feel like gaming itself is a leg of art in the art industry, to a degree, where they're kind of somewhat connected
Yeah.
at the hip. And so art obviously let the bull run as far as NFTs, and with extensive art, you get games. And so I do feel like gaming is part of that mass adoption. After there's a game and whatnot, people like to, what was the next portion of the internet that exploded? It's blogs. And then blogs led to, and blogs is more long form, but then from
Right.
short form, you got to consider, like, things have evolutions. What was the evolution from a long form blog? Would be, the next form, honestly, before it became social media, even like that we know, was YouTube, then came about. So then it went to video, and then we went back to short. Then we started cutting things up, making them as short as possible, whether
Right.
that was in text form of blogs or whether it was an image form of blogs, and then it became video form of blogs, and all of that got easier and easier for people all the way through. And so, different aspects of cryptocurrency. I think you saw my tweet the other day where I was like, I got to go back through my cryptocurrency tutorials that I made and redo them because things are getting more, easier,
Right.
and more connected. And so, that same thing is happening all across the space. Things are just getting easier and more connected. And so I expect these games are going to continue to evolve. The art sector is going to continue to evolve. And, yeah, just to say that, yeah, video games, and the social media / writing, or, just, what do I call that? Documentation, honestly, aspects of the internet are
Yeah.
what are going to lead it, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And towards that kind of how do tokenized communities work into that? Because I hear a lot of optimism around that, and I can certainly see how that would help. If the Web3 platforms, the future Facebooks kind of implement tokenized communities, that's going to be huge, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's definitely going to be huge. Why Facebook was, working on Calibre for a long time. They recently sold that to a bank, actually. So a bank decided to buy up that technology, and Facebook decided to let it go and do what a lot of different companies and things were deciding was a better route for them to go, get around regulations and things like that, which is with NFTs. NFTs is the easier route where they're not as heavily regulated for you selling, a memorabilia piece or whatever might have these extra perks and stuff.
Right.
But definitely that route, where monetizing your fan base, your audience in some aspect. We've already seen, people already do this on things like, if you're on Twitch, there's different ways that reward your community with points and stuff like that. They even have these little, you know
Gems or whatever.
pointless bubbles, well, like, other than like the bits and stuff like
Uh
that,
huh.
which actually you delegate you some actual physical money,
Okay.
or not physical money, but money. There's like little bubbles that pop up the more time that you spent in somebody's stream. And if you send those to the streamer, they're supposed to have little perks that you can get from that. Like, I drink a sip of my water and stay hydrated as a streamer. Maybe I do some push-ups or whatever that streamer's created as the incentive perks
Right.
there. but those have no actual monetary aspect to them because there's no actual tokenomics, there's no economic value. They didn't really do anything, and there's an unlimited supply. It's Dogecoinish.
Right.
It's a joke, but more work is being done into those, and as more and more people start to discover that you can actually derive some type of monetary policy from these things, is the world is we're in a golden age of technology, and information. It's the information golden age, and so most people have been vastly unaware of how economics work on a larger scale, how financial systems work on a larger scale. We just know that the United States dollar is what we use. And so, in movies, they stack up tons of United States dollars or tons of gold bricks, one or the other. And so those things most obviously have value to us, but we don't know, most people don't understand, how that works and why it works. But as sanctions, I think previously the inflation, whole scare and stuff like that, due to coronavirus and everything like that, which all started with, prior to the virus, with us doing quantitative easing. So people started to wake up when quantitative easing started. Then, quantitative easing has been long known that if there's any mistakes in quantitative easing, then you have a collapse potentially of your monetary policy. And so we had coronavirus hit, and so quantitative easing was thrown a curveball. And so by history, in research, that monetary policy should probably crumble then. And so, while people want to blame the president and whoever else, it's honestly the fact that we were using a structure that was so fickle, so weak. And so, yeah, everybody got paychecks and stuff like that. And I was arguing with my partner at the beginning of the pandemic, where I was like, if we want to save the United States dollar, we need to let people struggle. We need to go back to bartering. If it comes to it, people need to be like selling the items from their house for whatever goods they need from their neighbors and stuff like that, if it comes down to it. Otherwise, we're going to collapse this economy, and people don't realize it yet. And I'm saying that like month one of the pandemic. Right. Like, here we are. And I'm like, and now people are like, oh, inflation, and we want to blame this. And it's like, God, this has been set in stone for a long time.
Right.
But it's just because people don't really understand all that stuff. But with so many things happening, with this invasion happening in the Ukraine and stuff like that, and the Russians evading sanctions by going to certain cryptocurrency, I know I spoke to you about waves and stuff like that recently, but people are starting to wake up and question more things and research more things that they usually would not have researched. Usually they just spend that time on Netflix or Hulu.
Right. Yes. Well, that's huge, isn't it? To be able to bring people away from the TV and all the things out there that are out. Almost, people will joke like, those things are just out there to distract you from the politics and everything else that's running your life that, beyond your grasp. So it's huge that people are finally able to. Crypto is a low barrier to entry, right? So whereas it's kind of hard to get involved in politics, it's hard to convince yourself that your vote matters. But God damn it, anyone can start getting involved in crypto and immediately see how it's going to change, things. So. Yeah. All right, let's get going on some Fight Legends if we can here as we move forward. I believe, no, we haven't tried this in a couple weeks, so it might just be all fixed up. But let me know when you're in the join the queue.
I'm joining the queue now.
All right, I will wait a few seconds here. Let's wait till... All right, let me switch screens here. Remember, everybody, Bloody Faces holders can play this right now. Soon we're going to have another playable character, Nyx. And we linked up right away. And we'll have some new levels coming up here. We've got lots of cool concept art that's been out on socials, so make sure to check that out, too. Including the cool marketplace, very futuristic looking.
Yeah, and definitely follow Fight Legends on social media. On Twitter is where I see you guys most active. But a lot of alpha being shared there. Just always sharing, new designs and just little tidbits about what's coming up.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. Yeah, so let's see. Last time we played, they still hadn't done the full wall kick, but we had started messing around with the early adaptation of it, if you will. So I'll be excited to see how that looks now.
It's like, wait, am I?
Yeah, we started
white short rounds. Yeah, my yellow shorts.
We started walking towards each other.
I wanted to try to let's see. How did I do that kick last time? Oh, here we go.
I've been trying to work on video quality, so I've been doing research, trying to maximize my. I've got pretty good upload speeds, like 30 to 35, depending on who else is using it. Minimum, it would seem. So I have everything cranked up.
Oh, you got out of that, so you can block counter grabs now.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh, the front kick, flying front kick there. Okay. Looked like that
Also
was a
looks like
headbutt.
Looks like they turned down the damage on some of the moves, so that it fights a little bit longer instead of it being like fewer hits.
That's true. You were. Let's be honest. You were beating me up pretty quick on some of these. Hey. Okay. So close. So it's almost like that wall kick's like definitely a defensive move. If someone's super aggressive and backing you up, you can try and hit it off of it. But other than that,
Gotcha. Just spam it.
oh, nice. Broke my back.
Yeah, with the ability to counter that grab though, that's really nice because it can still have a certain amount of damage and a higher aspect of damage given to it. But if you can counter it and break it off, they don't just automatically grab. Makes it that much more of a crucial hit.
Yeah, they were doing like the launch. I wonder if you can counter that grab attempt with the launch kick. Let's see how I did that. Let's see, down.
Oh, and that one kick. I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, because apparently in our dev update last week, Disley was telling us that you can do the launch kick and then do a loaded up front kick to them in the air. And so I haven't done either kick. Let's see.
Launched right into that.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's the front kick.
Let me see what that is.
Push forward and R2. Well, for me, I'm using PlayStation.
Yeah, gotcha.
Ooh, that was a sneaky little uppercut.
Oh!
It's definitely being a little choppy here. Probably just for the server, which they're definitely working on and upgrading every day. Every week they have something new they're working on. I'm not super technically savvy, so I can't go too in detail on what they're currently working on, but they're always making it, fine-tuning it. And you got to remember, this is a super early demo. They wouldn't even have to be worrying about things like online play and on a classical AAA studio game,
Oh, yeah, no.
But, we want everyone to play with us and grow with the community, so it's something they got to worry about. It slows everything down a little bit, but come on, we're getting to play here and see the new moves as they're implemented, so that's always fun.
Yep. I had a disconnect,
Oh,
unfortunately.
No. We got two solid ones. I beat you again, and the game was like, no, something's wrong. Something happened. This isn't normal.
But yeah, that was good.
Well, I think it did to me, too.
You can really tell that a lot is being worked on with the game, and just as you were saying, a lot of AAA studios at this point in the game, they're not going to let you test it. If they do let you test it, it is to a smaller audience, kind of similar to how the Bloody Faces allow you that. But I don't know, just the transparency around how to get in and what you can do to get in is a lot more. Well, I guess I just I already said it, a lot more transparent in blockchain space and blockchain gaming. Whereas, in AAA titles, even if you were to get early access to a beta or something like that, or an alpha gameplay, it's really random. Or, worse than it being random, it's only offered to the highest level of streamers or something like that. And it's like, oh, great. So if I have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Right. I remember that with Fallout 76. They laid out the beta not that long, but huge game, years in the making. The beta didn't come out that long before the official launch, and it was at first with a certain level of people. I think you were right. It was just YouTubers and stuff, and then people that had purchased something got the next level. But it was not. With how buggy that game ended up being, it's they should have had I guess I'm not a developer, so I don't know how early they usually have the demos out, but they could have had it out for months before main launch, because it's been years since launch and they're still, updating that thing. So I don't know. Maybe it's a question of they could do it forever, right? You could have the beta forever and work on it. At some point, you just got to hit launch and then work forward with the bugs that you have, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like I'll give games this much credit at least, that it's getting harder and harder for games. Just because people like, and I'm not one of these gamers. I'm a gamer where, and maybe it's because I'm more of an old school, come from like, I feel like the heyday of classic gaming, which is like, just in the 90s slash, if you're like in the 80s or 90s with gaming, then you're pretty much the heyday, I feel like.
Yeah.
Just like you buy a game, you expect to play that game for a while.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
As what I purchased, I'm expecting to play that thing for, however long. But now, kids will buy a game and they're like, oh, why isn't there more available content this week? I said, what? It's like they want the game updated. You need new content flowing into that game every week or so. If I beat this part of the game, what's the next portion that you're going to launch in the game? Like, what do you mean? Like, that's the game. Uh, but now people they want constant updates to games, and to be able to do that, developers, the game studio has to have a game that's compatible with that type of updating, and then all those new additions require testing and stuff, and so I can understand to a degree why it takes them so long to have these games come out and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole different standard almost. So. Well, let's see here. As we wrap up, because I super busy this today, we've got Discord AMA with Rogue Star coming up in about a half an hour. So make sure you're in our Fight Legends Discord for that, to come hang out with the team and Rogue Star. I do believe we're even doing a whitelist spot and a Bloody Faces giveaway. And then later on today, after that, we're doing again the game night Jackbox, so make sure everyone comes in and hangs out for that. We might be giving away a Bloody Faces or two, but we also want to make it super special for everyone that's already in there. So we're actually in talks about what merch we're going to offer up. So if you want merch, a Bloody Faces, come on in. Maybe we'll give you the choice if you win the most Jackbox games tonight. So that'll always be fun. We're going to be doing those a couple times a week. Next week, I believe we're going to be doing Mario Kart. So everyone, get your Switches, get your online play. There is a 7-day trial there, so anyone that's looking to be and interested in participating wouldn't necessarily even have to buy the Nintendo Online membership if you just want to hop on that 7-day trial. More on that in Discord. Feel free to ask me if you're in there and have questions about getting ready for next week's Mario Kart. And tonight, yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited, and they got the new maps out that are covering like some of the raceways of the past. So definitely looking forward to some nostalgia trips as I'm racing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. Maybe remembering a side shortcut or something. You never know.
Yeah.
Used to play all the time back in the day. Yeah, so that'll be fun. All right, so as we wrap up, the last thing I wanted to talk about was it was something about you mentioned a story about NFT use. Do you remember which one that was?
A story about NFTs.
I think it was it was like the top utility uses that would survive.
Oh, just like, some NFT uses. So I was reading an article from Crypto News, and it was just talking about 6 NFT use cases that will probably remain after the hype has died down from NFTs. I can cover those topics because I feel like it was a pretty decent list, and I feel like most NFT people, if you're actually involved in the space more so than just trying to flip the NFT, but you're looking for games or other utility out of them, then you probably heard some of these use cases before.
Oh, for sure.
And you recognize that these are like, oh, this is what, of course. And so
what was this on again, Smurf?
This is on cryptonews.net.
Okay.
This first utility is one that everybody in Fight Legends is probably aware of. In-game items. Gaming related. But in-game items, integration to integration to games, your inventory, etc. That's also, if you're playing Sandbox, you're probably pretty familiar with that. Sandbox has been doing giveaways and whatnot, and the Sand token, and just encouraging people to get out there and explore their metaverse recently. There's one. Also, Axiomfinity is another big game, and Axie is full of in-game items. The Axies themselves, different little perks and plots and the land, etc. All of those are in-game items. So that's one. Memorabilia collectibles is number 2 on the list. Different collectibles of memorabilia,
Like Top
and
Shots kind of thing.
yeah. So Top Shots is a good example. NBA Top Shots. Another cool one that has yet to be come out, but is also involved with the NBA was one of the sharks from Shark Tank. Mark Cuban is saying that the Mavericks this upcoming NBA season will be utilizing NFTs for tickets. And so they want to include, not just have those tickets be NFTs, but also have them be memorabilia. And I can understand that, like, immediately click with me, because I'm a person who I save my tickets whenever I go to sporting events for their historical value. To me, whether or not I ever like plan to sell them or something like that, I just have like a huge cup of different concerts and sporting events that I'm going
Me
to.
too. Yeah.
And and so like one of those nights that I have that like was like it's in my memory is the night that the Detroit Pistons had a brawl. There was a fight that erupted at the Palace of Auburn Hills with the Pacers. They had a player, I forget his name now, but he was always getting into fights and like doing stuff. He's got like
Artest?
Artest, Ron Artest. Yeah.
I remember that fight, dude.
Yeah, he goes at and it erupts between the players and everybody, but he goes at somebody. He goes up into the fans
because he got dumped on or something, right? They threw his drink
they,
at it.
Threw something at him, and then like people just started throwing stuff down from all over the stadium. I was like, oh my goodness, it was a crazy game to be at.
Damn.
Kept that ticket. So yeah, sports memorabilia is one. And some games that they have, or some NFT projects they have on that list, are so rare. FIFA game, NFT game, NBA Top Shot, Konami. So due to I think they have to do like not NFTs, anime and stuff. And then OpenSea, which is just like the big NFT place.
Right.
3 on that list is consumer loyalty programs.
Okay.
So yeah, and I've heard different. I can't think of any of the top of the head.
Interesting.
Read some different articles, but I have heard it just seemed like natural, right? That just seemed natural to me. Where I'm like, yeah, because NFTs work as a receipt. That's very obviously like a receipt type of thing. So why not have it be consumer loyalty, or the way that I can't wait for a pizza place to be like, yo, here's our NFT, because I will straight up buy that I will have every pizza place as NFT.
So would this be like instead of the old punch card that everyone loses or they stop doing it, it would just be like, it would just be on a smart contract.
Yeah. And,
okay.
At that point, you just have to scan the barcode or whatever, and that much easier with your phone. They'll sync up with your wallet, and there you go. Now, with that said, everybody remember, always do that from your phone's cellular network and not the local Wi-Fi.
Right.
That's a way to get hacked.
Here, will you drop this article to me in Discord while we talk about it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, give that to you.
Now that's one I hadn't actually thought about, the customer loyalty thing. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I also consider it just because, like, we use ours for membership and stuff like that. But we're always thinking of different ways to like utilize our NFTs long term at MoneyMatchGaming. We have trophy NFTs, but we want them to be, you can't promise people money and stuff like that attached to the NFT. Otherwise, you start coming against certain SEC regulations and stuff like that.
Right.
But it is something where we look at as far as like whoever's held, they've held the NFT for a while. Let's drop some tokens on them from like not our own tokens or something, like some valuable tokens. Just send them to their wallet, randomly. Like, thank you for like believing in us and sticking with us. So it's always and I'm sure other places will start doing that. So some of the brands that they mentioned on this list are CFI Group, Radio Clinique, so mascara and stuff like that. Coca-Cola, that is Warren Buffett. Decentraland, even though he doesn't like cryptocurrency, but everybody's into NFTs, whether or not they want to admit it.
Yep.
And Coca-Cola is also in the Vivi Ecomi ecosystem, which is a whole metaverse and stuff like that on Immutable X. So there's that. Memberships, again, so pretty obvious. A big one that they mentioned here is, which was probably the biggest marketer that I've seen in the space, in just the marketing space, to do membership NFTs, was VFriends. So Gary Vaynerchuk and his VFriends project, where he just used his own little, he likes, says not the best artist. And a lot of them are like squiggly line type of characters and stuff, but it's his own art. And then it's, the purpose of it, regardless of whether or not you like the art. So similar to the apes, whether or not you like the art, it's membership. It's membership to something. And Money Match Gaming also has our own NFTs that work just the same as that. We have our Arcade Access token NFTs, or Arcade Access card, excuse me. They have a token on them. But those give you membership to our Discord, and we're about to launch our founders NFTs for a similar purpose. But yeah, they're used for membership. Next down that list is community building. So whatever way you want to use those, but they're just awesome ways to build community, allowing your followers to get closer to the community, to participate in some type of game mechanisms. Gamification has long been a thing in marketing and
Sure.
advertising and stuff like that, and NFTs provide you that ability to, whether it's long term play or short term play, bring that community together and allow expand upon gamification. And marketers definitely know what I'm talking about there. But everybody else, maybe that's something you want to research, and learn more about, because it's been a big part of marketing and advertising for a while. And then the last on the list is just digital art. So that was the first thing to really hit from people, and like what a lot of people often complain about is, oh, it's just digital art and this and that, and it's like, well, for a long time artists have struggled with ways to actually monetize their art, and get paid for it, and this and that. And it's pretty cool to see that we're in an age where not only they're being able to get paid for it, they can actually gamify that art, as that digital art. They're being used upon all sorts of different projects and stuff like that. It's being able to intermingle throughout the, whether it's a metaverse or just other projects wanting to use it. But all that art's being able to intermingle, from being on certain platforms.
And that's what's cool,
Yeah.
right? Is the digital art aspect of the NFT utilization, or utility rather, it can be blended with these other ones, right? When you attach the utility to that digital art, it becomes a community building NFT. It becomes a membership NFT. Maybe you have a gala that travels across the world, and if I buy your NFT, I get a ticket to that gala when it hits my city. And maybe it comes with a shirt, or it comes with free booze. I mean, you can attach whatever the heck you want to it. So that's what's so cool about that. And the community building and membership aspects of it are actually very interesting, moving forward. When you're
Yeah.
building businesses in this industry, those are definitely things to think of when you're, laying out your roadmap.
Yeah, exactly. And one project that I saw that like kind of incorporates almost everything on this list, and a lot of them do. Especially when you're talking about game NFTs, they
Mm-hmm.
incorporate that membership to some degree.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
incorporate the digital art. They incorporate some type of loyalty,
Well, especially
etc.
since they can
Community
have
building.
many different NFTs there in a game, right?
Yeah,
So.
yeah. But one I was going to mention is, I believe it's a Farmers World on the Wax blockchain,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe it's Farmers World. There's like a few. They have a few farming projects over there, so I might be getting the wrong one. But this
Right.
one that I'm thinking of, it allows you to, not only is there a game out there, so you can like digitally farm and stuff like that, but when you purchase the NFT and you mine for certain things in the game, you're actually helping a farm, an actual real life farm,
Oh shit.
produce its products. And
Love it.
getting so many of the in-game assets, they'll actually, and then burning that NFT, they'll actually send you jelly, or not jelly, honey.
Okay.
So they actually send you honey from that farm. And so that's
Brilliant.
just like one way that, and like that's a cool angle
Man, it
because
seems
it
like we're
seems so
just
cool. They
tapping
got
the
a bee
surface
farm
of
and stuff.
that, man.
Yeah, yeah, and that they do merch and stuff like that too. But when you can utilize these sales and like in the secondary sales, because NFT has the royalties and stuff like that attached to them, it's just actually finally getting back to people more so. And a lot of people want to complain about these type of things, but
Yeah.
we've long searched for this in the internet, where people, at first, we were like, oh, we need to be able to get monetized off of YouTube, because you couldn't do that at first, and we need
Right.
to be able to get monetized off of Instagram and stuff like that, and all these, and so slowly those platforms are rolling these features out and stuff like that. But here's a portion of the internet, Web 3.0, that's totally built for that.
Love it. Yeah. Absolutely. So many use cases, and I just, it actually gets me to think about, like, what do I enjoy in life that isn't tied to an NFT that should be, right? Like, I like metal music. Not a lot of metal bands are into the NFTs yet. There's no like metal music record. Maybe, oh, I need to start looking at record labels. Maybe there's a record label out there that's starting to use them or something like that. So I'm gonna actually look into that, because that, you're right? Like, anything you're
Yeah.
into, you should
Okay,
be
but
looking.
I know I like Yoshi Drops on Wax. I'll give some shout out to Yoshi Drops. We follow
Okay.
each other on Twitter and stuff like that. I don't know if they're considered a record label per se, but they definitely, it's kind of like their vibe. If they're not a record label, is
Sure.
they help artists drop their music as NFTs on the Wax blockchain,
Mm,
just for the purpose of getting their music out there into the community and stuff
cool.
like that. So I bought some of theirs early, and it's all nice music. And Money
Nice.
Match Gaming is trying to move into that direction too. We got some artists. We're starting to
Oh
move that stuff.
boy. You're gonna
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to tell me about
Making some
that.
fun music.
That's fun, dude. Oh, I love
Yeah.
the idea of that, man. You and I have worked on some projects in the past where we saw some of the local talent, that we have as musicians around here, and yeah, some cool stuff going on. So love that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, Smurf, real quick, tell us what's going on with Money Match Gaming for the rest of the week as we head out here.
Yeah. So the rest of the week, we'll be doing live streams, daily. Playing some blockchain games and traditional games, and I always share my 2 cents with cryptocurrency and stuff like that. Wednesday we have our casual Halo Infinite King of the Hill night. So we'll just be playing some Halo Infinite and challenging the community to first to five King of the Hill 2v2 situations. If you want to come out and join us. When we play Gods and Chain, we're usually doing a giveaway. So if you're interested in Gods and Chain and you want to earn some free cryptocurrency, I give away ETH pretty much every stream that I play Gods and Chain. So the people can actually buy up some decks and stuff like that. So that opportunity is out there on the table. And our Gods and Chain tournament is actually now scheduled, and so that'll be April 10th. Not the soonest thing, but we want to get some time out there to do that. During the lead up to that, I'll also be promoting our founders drive for our new NFTs. For Money Match Gaming founders, where we'll be taking the proceeds from those NFTs and investing those into DeFi, and so that we don't just spend the money. Like, we gather that money one time and then you just spend it on an event or something like that. It is all going to esports and community development and stuff like that, but we'll be specifically utilizing it to DeFi. You can find that in our white paper attached to our Twitter, and using that so that it's a continuous money making machine for us to be able to fund different events and stuff like that, instead of it being a one and done.
Sure.
And then we need to go out there and source money for people.
Yeah, you're proving to people that you've got the long game in mind. You're building out the infrastructure for like a huge business. So I love it. Yeah. Thank you so much, man, for coming by, hanging out with us every week. And make sure everyone that's on the Fight Legends and in the Fight Legends Discord that we've got about 10 minutes before the Rogue Star AMA. Make sure you pop in there to hang out with us. And we'll see you next time on the GameFi Throwdown next Tuesday. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye, Smurf.
Bye.